Welcome, everybody, to episode number 7 of the Spart Asch Analysis Podcast.
7 is lit. Number 7 is lit.
We're here today, August 7th, just wrapped up with almost the entire season. We have one game left coming on Friday. So, overall news and happenings in the RBC. Everyone's done with their season except for Charlotte and Boston. All the playoff spots are clinched. We have a schedule for the division series. And awards are starting to clear up. At least.
It's almost that time.
It's almost time.
Already?
Yeah, we're almost done here with season 8. Long time coming.
Has been.
It's been basically like a year and a half since we've had like a real playoffs in the RBC.
Yeah, it's been a good time coming ever since the crash in season 7.
Oh yeah,
revamp.
the crash is
That was
season
cut
7
off.
V1.
It was cut off like halfway.
Yep.
So like that was cut off halfway. So like we just get to the World Series.
Yep.
Our first actual playoffs. Hope to see all these teams get ready for some action.
But other than that, we have finishing results for most of our teams. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and start with, as soon as I get this done, 41. So the Spartans lead in runs scored on the season with a whopping 112. And as of now, the Bandits are 13 runs in first for runs allowed.
Impressive by the Bandits, not gonna lie.
So, playoff schedule. So, starting on Saturday. Saturday is going to be game 1 of the RLDS at Flyers Park. Gladiators versus Flyers. Sunday will be Mountaineers at Spartans at MetLife, a rematch of the game that just happened. Monday will be game 2 of the RLDS. Tuesday will be game 2 of the MLDS. And then we'll go from there based on the results of those games. And as for we're just going to start to move on pretty quickly here.
Okay.
And we're just going to get right on track with our award predictions. So I did...
Wow.
Yeah, might as well just get on to it. So...
The Band-Aid off? Yep.
I did the ML predictions and Spart did the RL predictions to avoid bias as much as possible. I'll start off first. I'll just go from the less significant awards to the most. So for the Rookie of the Year, I had 3D Model of New York. He has pretty much carried New York for the last half of the season and really put himself out there as compared to Gulag, who was just banned from the game today. And there aren't really many other prominent rookies in the ML. Gold Glove goes to Spartan. Most consistent and, just the most consistent overall outfielder who I've seen so far. Hank Aaron goes to Juice. Hit his 10th home run today. Leads in home runs. Cy Young to Spartan. He's leading, I believe, 2 of the 4 pitching categories. Silver Slugger to Doug. He's leading in 2 of the 4 hitting categories. Manager of the Year to Spartan. He's really put together a great squad this year. And didn't really have to build from complete ground up like this, he did have to build from complete ground up, unlike the Spartans. Most improved, I'm going to have to give it to Xavier. In the previous seasons, especially when he was Gator Boy, he was not the best player, but he's really come out. He's hitting above 500 on the season, showing he's got at least something going on for him. As for MVP, it's a toss-up between Doug and Spartan. It could go either way for this. Spartan has been dominant in the field and on the mound. Doug has been dominant at the plate and somewhat in the field. So we'll see which one of these players will take the MVP.
RL side of things, let's go ahead and let's start with Silver Slugger. My prediction is that Silver Slugger would go to Crazy Time. Crazy Time has been better, in my opinion, in the RBC so far. Besides Doug, but he will win the Silver Slugger. He will also win the Hank Aaron Award, and Ash Limmer will win the Cy Young Award. The rookie, not rookie, sorry, the Golden Glove would also go to Ash Limmer. We'll go to Diva Dog of Charlotte. Diva Dog is probably rookie this season. Not gonna lie to you. He's been batting and pitching really well. If I just go ahead and look at his stats, 7 with 2 RBIs, and at the plate he has a ERA of 0.71 and a WHIP of just 0.8. So probably the best. And then if we go to most improved player, it's a toss up between Crazy or Meme Man, both of Omaha, but I think it will have to go to Crazy because this is my first time, in my opinion, that I've seen him actually have such a big standout year compared to other players in his field. Um, Manager of the year will go to Ash Limmer of Charlotte, as Charlotte has the best record. He has put together a really dominant, I think, a really great team that's looking to win their first ring this year with such a dominant squad supporting him. And MVP could go either way between Ash and Crazy. Said for the ML, Ash has been dominant in the pitching and in the fielding, and Crazy has been dominant in the batting and in the pitching. So I think it's really going to come to the points of who either is the better pitcher or who is the better in their respective fields, whether that is batting or fielding.
Yeah, thank you. So let's see what does the chat think of these predictions? What would you guys do differently? Of course they choose each other, says Felix Peep. Okay. We got some requests for offers. Juice says he should be the MVP. Okay, so since I was in charge of the ML, that's where I'm going to disagree. Juice is leading in home runs and is second place in batting average, but his fielding and pitching have just been not as there as the other two this season. And
Especially since, not gonna lie, his pitching was so dominant in the beginning this year, but as everything.
Yeah, especially since he subbed in like every other game, and just everyone knows how he pitches now, which was not very intelligent on his side. But ever since he started subbing, people just know how to hit off of him much more, especially the better players. And just because he's not as dominant as he was before, and because those two individuals are just way more dominant, I don't think Juice is in the running for MVP in
I'm
the
not gonna lie, I think if one of these two, if Doug or me doesn't get that award, I think it should either go to Juice or Dar. Darkar also is in that same field where he's been batting at pretty well this season. Maybe not for his average, but whereas come home runs and RBIs, he's been great. But his fielding is not as dominant. I mean, he's very consistent with the roller throws and everything like that. When it comes to the throws off the wall or the very rush throws, Dar's not really, as I say, as consistent as others in the field are.
Definitely. But how about Broken Elias? Ew, God no.
I bet you that was Broken Elias that said that.
Yeah, I bet. Juice, literally the last 2 games I've seen you play, you've made like 50. Your fielding percentage has been like 50% over your last 3 games. Like I'm not even joking. Your outfielding has not been the best right now in recent games. I did not say Felix. I didn't say Juice would win Gold Glove. I said Spartan will win Gold Glove. Juice is gonna win the Hank Aaron Award. Felix, pay attention before you rip my podcast.
Okay, so the next thing I want to address is since the playoffs start, I believe Saturday. Am I right?
Yeah, Saturday. Playoffs start Saturday.
We should go ahead and make some predictions for our game ones.
Yeah, I think we should. I'm gonna give 70-30 odds to Omaha, game 1.
Omaha versus.
versus
Ooh,
Gas
Gas
City.
City. Gas City. Not gonna lie, is a pretty formidable team, especially when you have Garrett at the plate.
On the
I mean,
mound, that
Garrett
is.
at the rubber. Um, but it's really gonna see. It's gonna really see if his players show up. Like players like Austin who have come through. Your boy Bear and NLJ, if they can come through, possibly, not likely, but possibly, we could see an upset by GCG. But I don't think it will happen. Outside of things, I'm gonna have to give Spartans the Spartan odds of 40%.
I would go 80-20 for the Spartans game,
The
just
reason I say
because
60-40 is because even though they did win
they've swept West
today,
Virginia this season.
let's be honest, all those games were with Doug, and Doug is vital in this team.
Wait, is Doug just not going to be there for the entire playoffs?
But I believe he's missing the entire playoffs besides the World Series.
Can we get like a Doug or somebody who knows Doug to like confirm or deny that? Because that's a big change that would be happening.
But if Doug is there, I'll say 80. I'll agree with you, 80-20.
If Doug's there, it's 80-20 for sure. If Doug's not there, I'd say, yeah, 60-40. Most of it, he'll miss most of it. Okay. So yeah, I'll give it 60-40 if Doug's not going to be there.
Perfect. But in my opinion, I see Omaha facing Charlotte, and I see Nass facing RBC.
Yeah, I think most people see that, especially the like just overall odds, because Charlotte's either finishing 11 or no. Omaha is 10-6, Gas City is 6-10. Meanwhile, Nass is 12-4, West Virginia is 6-10. That's a big difference in record. And if we look at head to head, Omaha against Gas City is 4-2, which isn't as good as, which isn't the best, but it's still a pretty big advantage. But I would still give it about 70-30, maybe 60-40 in Omaha's advantage, just because they have better pitching depth. As for Nass, West Virginia, Nass has swept 6-0 this season. That's six games. This is going to stretch it to up to 9 games between the Spartans and the Mountaineers. I think they're pretty tired of each other already.
Yeah.
But
Honestly, that's like if I had to play New York Skyliners. It would be too repetitive for me. At this time, I want to give 15 minutes to questions because hopefully we can see you at the RBC versus everyone scrim. That's going down tonight. By the way, if you want to play RBC at any moment, don't hesitate to shoot me a quick DM to set up a time. RBC is looking for a lot of moments before their games to just, get some practice in, get some scrims in, just get ready for the playoff. And if you want to scrim us, just go ahead and DM me.
how do I feel about the new rule at Spartan? I'm answering anyway. Fuck you, Juice. Okay, so I think it should have been 3 innings in my opinion, but it's definitely needed. There definitely does need to be a rule because I was just waiting for somebody Spart to just have an opener pitch the first inning and then just pitch 4 innings a game every game, which is
That's my game plan,
extremely dominant. I think a rule would be needed, but I'm not sure if 2 innings is the right choice. Juice, you didn't come up with it, dog. I've literally been. Everyone's known this has, or everyone who like knows the rule knows this should have been a rule since like the day it was implemented. Especially me. I saw the hole in the rule and I just didn't exploit it. The only reason I didn't suggest it to Doug is because he'd have an aneurysm about it.
He always does when you suggest something.
No, I just feel like he would not agree. But Yes,
That's
Juice, we
factual.
understand you presented it to Doug yesterday. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Good job.
See, listen, I like winning, but I don't like exploiting rules. Because
It's me, man.
every time I exploit a rule, Doug just changes the rule to make it
Okay,
even
this is
more restrictive.
Ash. Calm down. This is not a roast juice chat.
Well, Juice is making it easy to roast him. He's spamming sped in the chat.
Low key cancerous though, so just ignore him.
Yeah, I'm giving you timeout, Juice, for
Um.
spamming.
Okay, so I saw a question by Crazy Man. He says, "Why do you think I should win the MVP, MIP?" Oh, sorry, I almost had the forbidden word. Um, but crazy time. If we look at your history of, I think overall as a player, I think you've always been, what can I say, of a top tier player, but you've never been like, how do I say, like, you're an A plus. You're not an S. You're not like an S. You know what I mean? Like Ash Limmer's a S. I would say like me and Doug are S's. I'll put like AJ and Carm and Peyton like in their prime or S's. That step to make it an S, and I think this season you made that step to make it an S, and I think your coming out moment. Like your seasons, but you've always been overshadowed by someone. This season you smacked everyone out of the water for all the batting grades, and you almost beat. You're giving Ash a run for his money in the strikeout category, so that's why
Well,
I think you should win it, Mikey.
Bring your own fun.
Ash has won the strikeout category
I'm
because
saying he gave you a run for your money.
yeah, Crazy didn't get any strikeouts today, and that's the end of their season.
Oh yeah. Any other questions from the chat? By the way, see a question from 20. I'm gonna guess this is the 22 fan. Did the 22 fan injury ruin his career?
No, it just kind of screwed him over for this season.
You're just rusty.
Yeah. What team is he on right now? Is he still on Boston, or is he on? Actually, yeah, he still is on Boston. So he'll play on Friday, and then he'll have.
Why did he leave Gas City?
No clue.
Basically, 22 just ruined his chances of making the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know why he would leave Gas City like that.
Alex says MLCS. Here's our RLCS predictions.
Do you mean
I'll
like
take
who
the
do you
RL.
think is gonna be in it, or who do you think is gonna win? Because I think
Okay.
everyone basically can agree that there's about 90% odds that this championship series is gonna be Omaha versus Charlotte, and Nats versus RBC.
He's listened. Alex, could you give us an answer, please? Or like,
But
hey, he
okay,
said
win.
everyone's gonna
Okay,
win
he
it.
said win. So I'll do ML.
Okay, I'll do RL.
So if Doug's not gonna be there, I'm gonna have to give 60% odds to Rock Valley. Just because their entire like offense, while Juice is there. I know Juice is there. Don't say anything in chat, Juice. I get it. Juice is there. He bats well, but their whole offense is really centered around their three-hole Doug. Doug has the second highest average on the team and has the most RBIs by like 12, which is more RBIs than most players have. He's the centerpiece of their lineup, and without Doug, he's also the centerpiece of their pitching staff. He's the most innings pitched on their team. Without Doug, I don't think they're going to be able to be as effective as they have been, especially in the game that they actually beat Rock Valley. Other than that one game, Rock Valley beat them the other 3 times. So I would have to give odds to Rock Valley in that sense.
And for the RL, I will have to give it to. I mean, if it's not obvious, it should be now. Charlotte, because look at this. Let's take it back to the head-to-head. Charlotte Bandits have beaten the Omaha Flyers. They have swept the Omaha Flyers. They swept the Omaha Flyers. They only played I think one or two games with Caden and Ark, who are two big names. Bringing them over in late season is like bombshell for the rest of the RBC. They should be worried about this Charlotte Bandits team because, in my opinion, this might be the best Charlotte Bandits team we've seen in a while. They are going to the World Series, and even though I'm the RBC coach, they're favorites to win World Series in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you think
Well,
MVP should be one singular award? God, no. Absolutely
oh
not.
Jesus no.
Just we look at the stats for the two leagues, right? So you look at just the runs allowed and runs scored. The lowest or the highest runs allowed, or we're just gonna ignore Gas City and Boston. Just like the top two teams from each league. The lowest, both of the RL teams have lower runs scored, and both of the RL teams have lower runs allowed, except for Omaha, but close enough, basically.
Honestly, if I think you wanted to do that, I think you would have to have like at least more teams. Because you would need,
we need like a 10-team league.
maybe like, I'm thinking like a 16
Oh, a
league team,
16
dog.
league, like maybe. But in an 8
Yeah,
team
I'm thinking 8 teams
RBC,
each side.
you gotta separate them, especially since their
You gotta have
schedules.
like 4 top tiers and 4 low tiers in the month. You can't have 2 and 2. That's too like the stats are too would be too biased or too one sided.
Just the fact that you play 14 games in your division and then 2 games out of your division, it's very unbalanced and doesn't allow for much variety. So
I just read this question from Dar that says, why do black players seem to have an advantage in jumps when white people don't?
good question.
You know, ask Doug. He's bred all the black people in this group. It's a question for Doug. So,
What do y'all think of
if there's,
what do you guys
you
think?
don't think of Spart leaving next season? When do y'all think of that?
That'll be rough.
And cry because the black man of RBC is leaving.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like a big sad.
Big sad.
It's gonna be big sad. African people are older. What?
What? Doug has said that RBC is likely going to shrink to 6 teams next season due to lack of leadership, which is quite unfortunate because I still think we definitely have enough active players to have 8 teams. We just don't have the owners to have 8 teams.
Yeah, unless just step up to the plate, you know.
Yeah, we need some of y'all players to show that you're competent at your life and
Stop being cancerous like Tornado and Juice.
Come on a team and don't leave after a week.
or don't bandwagon to Charlotte or RBC.
Facts.
Do you think there should be a steals league? No, hell no.
Absolutely.
Oh, when do steals ever happen? Like twice?
I have like
I
have 12 steals this season.
There should be steals is when the pitcher's like too stupid to look behind them.
Exactly.
It's not like
but it's a viable strategy.
You need to be actually stupid to not look behind you at least once when you're pitching and be like, oh wow, that guy was on first base, now he's on second. What the hell happened?
But
hey man, what do you grade my regular season performance?
Solid B minus.
I think you might be hyping that nigga up too much. Oh, I said it. Sorry, Ash, I owe you $1.
How dare you?
You hyping that dude up too much. I'll give him a C plus.
Okay.
Cause batting 373, that's below average in my opinion.
I mean, that's about average. So it's about a C.
Average, and then he only has 3 RBIs. 51 at bats. Come on, dog. If you have someone like, let's look at the other stats.
There has definitely been a big problem of umps just either not taking stats or not turning in stats.
That's true.
Because, like, 15 or 16 games, right? 16 times 5 is 80. Not taking into account a couple extra inning games. But that means that every team should have around 80 innings pitched. Boston has 16. Omaha has 61. Well, you can't. Gas City has 41. Omaha, or not, the Spartans have 55. Rock Valley actually does have 81.67, which makes sense. West Virginia has a lot of innings, but like I'm sure even with the imbalance, averaging these out would not end up to be 80 innings per team.
I think it's because of a large amount of transactions too. Not gonna lie to you, especially Boston like losing all their team.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
What was it? What do you rate Ash's strike zone performance?
my strike zone
A
performance,
minus,
at
A
least
minus,
at
B plus
least
to A
it's
minus.
consistent.
Because first of all, it's consistent, but the only thing I hate about Ash is that he won't let music play for more than 10 seconds,
Walk-up songs are a bane to this league, and should
and
only
they're
be
so
played
gay.
for at a maximum of 10 seconds.
That's so gay. What do you?
It was causing me basically physical pain when the Spartans would play their copyrighted music and just take laps around the home plate.
Oh, but you can play Brass Bonanza when you walk up for 25 seconds and everything's cool.
I don't do that. I play
Just
my
saying.
song until I get into the box and then I turn it off. It plays for like
Big
6
time. What
seconds
do
at
you rate
most.
my regular season performance?
Who's that? Crazy? A plus, dog.
His name is
Easy.
legit Crazy Time, man.
Like, if I had to do a tier list for like players, and I had to like choose like 7 S tier players, it would be me, you, Spartan, Doug, Juice, AJ, and like.
Did you just
Guess
say
Rizzo.
Juice? Ew.
I mean, yeah, Juice is a good hitter. I would
Not
like
gonna lie,
he's
a
an
good
S
hitter.
tier, but he's still not MVP. Like guess Rizzo, definitely an S tier, not MVP.
Can we give respect to my boy Flacco's name, dog? Just kidding.
No.
And I think if there's no more questions, we might want to wrap this up so we can go ahead and start this 11 o'clock.
Which I am not going to. I've umped 4 games in the last 2 days. I'm kind of done with umping at this point.
You can just chill, dog.
Yeah.
Just so everyone know, come to Bayside now. If you want to come play this everyone versus RBC, come to Bayside, please. Ash, gonna wrap this up.
All right. So yeah, that'll be it for today's podcast. We'll be back probably Saturday night or Sunday night after either 1 or 2 of the Division Series games, back with the results from that, and we'll just talk about what we think and how we think the rest of the playoffs are going to go. So we will see everybody later. Good night.